this is Lady Boulay. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Well, it seems like the immigrant situation has changed focus. It has gone from being a crisis in Chicago to being a crisis in New York. And the crisis in New York is African immigrants. And they are having language issues in New York because people in New York typically can speak Spanish, English, and Spanish. But when you get outside of that realm, you're going to need a translator. So now the Africans are complaining because they speak so many different languages that they just don't have the manpower to accommodate all of them. They're in New York speaking languages, speaking their tribal languages. And people just aren't equipped for that. I thought in all of those African countries that they had at least one Western language that they spoke, French, English, or, French or English, not so much Spanish, French, English, and maybe Portuguese. But they are coming to New York and nobody understands what they're saying, and they are almost demanding that they get somebody there that understands them. I'm just wondering what's being told to people when they're in their homeland and what they're supposed to expect when they get to the United States. Because America really is not a one-size-fits-all country. America is not for everybody. They have a lot of immigrants from Guinea in New York and Senegal. Those were French colonies. France colonized Guinea and Senegal. And they have diplomatic relations with France. Those two countries do. So what are they doing in the United States? If they've got to go somewhere, they should be in France. Same with the Congo. Belgium colonized the Congo. So here they are in the United States. What is being told to people that they're all flocking here? And I hear Black Americans saying, these anti-American Black Americans saying, well, this country was stolen. It doesn't belong to anybody. Anybody can come here. Well, anybody didn't build the country. Anybody didn't build this economy. And everybody is not due reparations. So we need to get what we're owed before we start trying to advocate for somebody else. Now, I do sympathize with people. If you look at what's going on in the Congo, if you look at what's going on in Sudan and all of those African countries, there's something going on in those countries all the time. Honestly, I do not know what the answer is for those countries. But I know that running to another country and ruining that country is not the answer. At least I don't think it's the answer. And I think America would be generous in trying to help those people bring stability in their own countries. Because everybody running here is just going to cause bigger problems here. This is from the New York State Legislature, and it says, many asylum seekers from African countries have arrived in New York City in recent months, and advocates worry that the city isn't addressing language barrier issues for non-Spanish speaking immigrants. See, they have Spanish speakers in New York, but they don't have anybody in New York that can speak every language from every country and every tribe in Africa. Having received little response from the city about how they can help migrants, African Communities Together has largely relied on word of mouth and social media to locate asylum seekers within the city's system. In one example, Cal Yates said she and several others from the nonprofit went to an emergency shelter hoping to inform African migrants in their preferred languages about their rights as asylum seekers, how they can help themselves, and how to navigate the city, but upon arrival, the shelter's manager told them that they didn't need anything because they have Google Translator. Whew. While the group tried to persuade the manager otherwise, an asylum seeker approached the manager to ask a question. The two struggled to communicate until Kayate interceded. I have a hard time with these foreign names. So what they're saying right now is that they're not even receiving support. They're going to these asylum seekers shelters. So you're leaving your homeland to come to somewhere where nobody even understands your language to live in a shelter. And they could go to other African countries where they would have people like them, but no, they all want to run to the United States because they really think if they get here, they're going to be rich. Now that is what I'm being told, and they'll find out soon enough. Kayate's experience at the shelter was far from an isolated one. She said African communities together have encountered similar situations at other hotels and emergency shelters when they've been told to send an email and fill out paperwork, which is how America operates. She said something that doesn't make sense, especially during urgent situations. Well, see, that's the chance you take when you come to somebody else's country illegally. That you're not a priority if you come here illegally, because New York City is full of citizens who have their own needs. So you came here illegally, and now you want to be prioritized. That's not the way it works. And if they told you that, you see now they didn't tell you the truth. Why are they not working with us? We have this expertise, Kayate said. And she's talking about the language expertise. They can speak the languages of the asylum seekers. So talking to the people that were operating the shelter, she said, we're here to help. Let's work together. But let's have an easy process to work together. We all have to come together and find the solution. Now, this is an illegal immigrant talking about the process in New York. She says we need to work together. Let's come together and find solutions. Now, where should she have practiced that first? Coming together, working together to find solutions. She should have tried that at home first. Theodore Moore, New York Immigration Coalition Vice President of Policy and Programs, said that most of the people that he spoke with outside of the arrival center were West African and Senegalese, having come to New York by way of the southern border. So they came here illegally, somehow got to Mexico, and came up through Mexico and ended up in New York. Now they want people to take them seriously, but that's how they got here. They didn't come here legally. There is a difference when you go to a country legally and when you go to a country illegally. While the city has since found places for the people to stay, Moore said it didn't escape his notice that most of the new arrivals had been black and spoke languages other than Spanish and English. He said language access has also been an issue at an emergency respite center serving migrant men in Bushwick. A number of black migrants, many of whom are also Muslim, were placed at that particular shelter, which residents and advocates have said lacked showers, enough bathrooms, and has had sporadic access to air conditioning. So they're putting the blacks and the Muslims in the places where they don't have showers, bathrooms, and they have unreliable air conditioning. So they're blaming these poor services on the fact that they don't speak English or Spanish. But there's built-in discrimination, especially when you come illegally, and then when you have a language situation and a religious situation. It's not designed to work out well for you. You can force it, I guess, if you're really tenacious and you really want to stay and make it work. I guess you could do that. But the system was not designed for people to come here illegally with a language barrier, a religious barrier, and then really not having anybody to sponsor you, any family members here. A lot of those Hispanic people have kinfolk in the United States. And they get here, they disappear because they've gone to stay with their kinfolk where they live in about 25 to a room. But that's something, I guess. But anyway, y'all, they are having problems in New York, and New Yorkers have started complaining about it. Because there's no way they can accommodate all of these illegal migrants without sacrificing the citizens, without cutting into their resources and their services. And the people of New York are saying that these migrants are really having a hard time because the people of New York have started pushing back. So they are having a hard time now. They're not going to write that in the news media about the things that they're doing that are discriminatory. But they're doing some of that too. But again, that's the risk that you take when you come into a situation uninvited. So anyway, time will tell how all of this works out. But I believe there's a great plan. There's a grand plan. We don't know what it is yet, but it'll show itself in time. But anyway, let me know what you think about the video. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Share the video. And as always, have a great day.